Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine where we bring you the latest cultural events taking place around the nation. Let's go take a look at today's episode.
Minister of Culture Dr. Dainas Abdidaim honors a group of families of our righteous martyrs from the armed forces and the police at the Hanage Theatre at the Cairo Opera House. This comes within the framework of the Ministry of Culture's concern with commemorating the martyrs of the armed forces and police. In doing so, the ministry highlights their heroic role in defending the homeland and supporting future generations by acknowledging them of the importance of the role of these heroes and that they always remain in our hearts. The honorary celebration is organized by the National Center for Cinema, headed by scriptwriter Mohammed El-Basousi. During the ceremony, the documentary film The Martyr for director Atif Shukri is screened in appreciation of the heroes and their families. The first Festival of Sculpture on Sand was held recently in the coastal city of Port Said. The festival was held recently under the auspices of the General Tourism Promotion Authority and the Port Said Governorate. Generations of different ages, from professional plastic artists as well as talented people in the field of sculpture, participated in the festival, and through the competition, prizes were distributed to the winners. Many fine artists and influential personalities in the field of supporting tourism in Port Said were honored for their influential role in supporting Egyptian tourism to highlight the beauty of the sandy nature of the beaches of Port Said. The festival will be held annually and with the participation of a wider local and international plastic artists. Port Said's beaches are distinguished by the soft gray sand. The Cairo Opera House, in cooperation with the Ministry of Culture, recently organized special evenings at the Opera House Small Theater. These events included different evenings for the various foreign delegations in Egypt. The Ministry of Culture, in cooperation with the Pakistani Embassy, held a special event at the Small Theater at the Opera House. The event included a Pakistani folklore performance representing their heritage, as well as some lyrical and musical works that express the colors of the different local arts. Among the opera events comes the Filipino Evening. The Filipino Embassy in Cairo celebrated the 75th anniversary of Egyptian-Filipino relations through the event organized by the Cairo Opera House, headed by Dr. Magdi Sabir, where a night was held that included colors of local traditional arts and models of folklore belonging to the Asian continent, including the beauty of Filipino music signifying one world and one music. Dressed in traditional Filipino clothes, the performance won the admiration and approval of the audience. And on the Fountain Theatre, the Tunisian singer Ghalia Ben Ali presented and starred in a Sufi evening where she was inspired by the Arab singing heritage in a distinctive style that blends originality and contemporary music, through which she presented a group of Arabic poems that she composed and distributed in an innovative manner and accompanied them with her rhythmic movements.
سألت عن الحب أهل الهوى سقاط الدموع ندام الجوى سألت عن الحب أهل الهوى سقاط الدموع ندام الجوى.
The Cairo Opera House is a beacon of light for both artists and art lovers. It brings and joins both local and international artists from around the world. Let's go find out more about what the Cairo Opera House has to offer.
Among the opera events comes the Filipino Evening. The Filipino Embassy in Cairo celebrated the 75th anniversary of Egyptian-Filipino relations through the event organized by the Cairo Opera House headed by Dr. Magdi Sober, where a night was held that included colors of local traditional arts and models of folklore belonging to the Asian continent.
Growing strong, we celebrate 75 years, the Diamond Jubilee of our relations between our two countries. And this is the fourth cultural event that we have organized together with the Ministry of Culture since October 2019, when the Manila Piano Trio performed here at the small hall of the Cairo Opera House. Then we had the March 26 song Music and Dance at the Gomhoreya Theater, the Evening of Cultural Relations, and this one, Ramadan Nights featuring the Philippines. So our relations between not only political and economic, but more importantly between peoples through culture, arts, and closer interactions. Very important because at the end of the day, relations between two countries is really it's like a relationship between people. We have to get to know each other, we have to understand each other, we have to share our values with each other, our history and tradition. To be part of the Ramadan Nights, wherein they feature one country, and since we have 10% of our population out of 100 million are Muslims, so but speaking as we celebrate Ramadan this month, that we share with you how we celebrate our people, our Muslim brothers and sisters, and also to provide you a highlight of our dances, our music, to promote greater understanding between our two cultures and our two peoples. We have been around the antiquities, the richness of the civilization. Just this morning, we went to the National Museum for Egyptian Civilization. So it's really, really fantastic to learn a lot from the history and the civilization of Egypt.
Cairo Opera House always open them theater and doors for all countries here in Egypt. Different countries, they come to make any performance. I am in role of Cairo Opera House. I am manager, artistic manager for a small stage, and I help the Philippine embassy to make a choreographer for some dancing. That's why it was so nice to have a collaboration between Egypt and the Philippines for a lot of evening. We can make it in Cairo Opera House. In Opera House, we have 5 theaters, and all theaters they are working now, and they will receive a lot of companies and a lot of embassies. They come here and they make them performance. They show them culture. That's why it's very nice for Egyptian audiences. They can watch different culture from all the world. Art always the only language they can talk about all language and for all countries. That's why we are give a message for all audience for all the world. That's why they give a friendship between countries. That's why always the artists in all worlds they are some honor for countries. That's why we are here and we give a support for our embassy and all countries they want. And also sometimes when Cairo Opera House they traveling awards. That's why we give a good quality of art in all the world. For my efforts, I just give a hand or give a help for all dancers. They are unprofessional, but I give them a little bit some my experience. That's why they are so proud about this, and that's why they give me this part, this piece, and they say it's a very honor to be like ambassador for Egypt in Philippines one day.
On the occasion of 75 years of Egyptian-Filipino relations, the Cairo Opera House, in cooperation with the Filipino Embassy, held this celebration. This is Abby Gindi for the Cultural Magazine at the Opera House.
The season of spring is all about rebirth and life itself. Artists like to display this art form and this season in their own and unique way. Let's go find out more what artists have to show us on spring.
flowers for me is the ultimate beauty because they exist mostly as an aesthetic existence. Of course, they have functional roles, you know, the whole perfume industry is depending on flowers and others, you know. But mainly, we do flowers for their beauty. We grow them, we put them, we celebrate with them in weddings and big celebrations. And they also are very symbolic of love. In the Valentine and in the anniversaries, we usually present flowers as well. So for me, flowers are all of these combined plus a spiritual element. And this is maybe the undercurrent that is found in this exhibition between all the paintings, whether it is still life or whether it is roses or other unusual types of flowers like the agapanthus, for example, and the eostomas that I have not done before. And I found that they were really very nice here. Art is very important because it is the heart of the society. You know, you can speak about history, which usually is a political history. And you can speak about the achievements in science and everything, but what touches the heart is the art. And even the word heart has art in the middle, exactly. So what I want to say is in Egypt, what preserved the Egyptian culture and the Egyptian antiquities was their art, because everything else had vanished. But the beautiful tombs and the lovely temples and the pyramids and the engravings and the bas-relief, all of this was part of the Egyptian art that is shaped not only our own culture, but it became a world heritage. Everybody is keen to have a slice of Egyptian art. Even when they were salvaging the Abu Simbel temple, the UNESCO shared and all the countries came here to save this world treasure, which is Abu Simbel. Now, I think that Egyptian art is passing through a very interesting period because, you know, we are bombarded by art coming from all over the world. Now with the internet and the availability of digital art and also computer-assisted art, art is taking a slightly different twist and turn. And it is very important also for us as Egyptians to decide what exactly is Egyptian, to not to lose our Egyptian flavor, because we can easily lose it and we become globalized. And then I think globalization is the enemy of ethnic and national cultures. And so we need to really emphasize this and help our youngsters to know their background better.
Art is not divide. An artist can taste and can understand different arts. So a painter can understand the language. If you have looked a little bit carefully about the actresses that he has painted, you would see him describing the character from its eye. If you take a closer look at Layla's Moray painting or Saad Hosni, you will find her eyes talking to you and telling you all about her own character, which is what she's a painter, a real painter can do, can feel other actress and singers or whatever, and can do that in painting. This is a real actor, a real painter we are watching today, and we are witnessing an art of one of the biggest famous painters of Egypt. I'm so proud. We as painters, we feel and sense very much everything, all relations, and this is not in Egypt only, this is worldwide actually. A painter can sense and feel human beings, can sense and feel religious gods, whatever your religion is, whatever you believe in, even if you don't believe in God or you're a heathen maybe. It's okay, you still believe in good and bad and clarifying your soul. That was such an impressive painting actually today to see. And he can speak the languages that a language that everyone can understand. Well, if you have brought any culture, any foreigner, any human being, a peasant even, would understand such beautiful paintings. It doesn't need much to comprehend and to understand and to feel such beautiful paintings as today. I do congratulate him. Actually, I do thank him so much for giving us this beautiful, lovely boost that we really needed it after the pandemic. And it did not end yet. It's not over, but we needed to see such beautiful paintings.
Art in general is really, really important for our community, and I feel that nowadays we started to concentrate how important it is. It changes our view, our perspective to things we can look to. And Dr. Farid added also the cinema, the artists like in cinema and stuff with the paintings. So I believe that he believes in art. Art changes the community, in my opinion. Spring is a very joyful season. We can see all the colors alive. So it's one of the seasons that we all feel happy and full of energy, and we feel that we want to paint every single thing while walking around. Yeah.
I think since the building of the new opera, it had done a great job, because also there are also venues for theater, for operas, for classical music, chamber music in the small theater, as well as several galleries that are showing regularly. And I myself have shown there many times. I love it. I consider it almost my home. Our daughter sang there, so this variety is wonderful, and it's accessible, and it is not expensive. So the average person can afford it. The only thing that we need to do more is to do publicity about the different events, because I hate to see empty seats in the opera, especially when you do get a very international orchestra coming with a pianist or a solist that is well known. You don't want any empty seats. It's something that people pay a lot of money to get. So that is the only thing, we just need more publicity. And I think we have a wonderful director. Dr. Magdi Saber is doing a great job. And of course, Her Excellency before, Dr. Ines Abdeldaim was the former, and she's now the Minister of Culture that understands so well the role of culture. Bless her. I mean, I would really recommend that people would help those leaders, would help their minister, would help the director of the opera house to do a better job, because they cannot do it single-handed. We have to all support each other.
This brings us to the end of this episode of Cultural Magazine. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more on Nile TV.